Do you know the differences between the commonly used words say, tell, speak, and talk? She said we should study. She told us to study. She spoke about studying. She talked about studying. In those 4 examples, you could hear say, tell, speak, and talk. Welcome to Jen's Jyugyou. My name is Jen, and today we're going to be taking a look at the differences between these 4 words so that you know when you can use them in English. Let's start with the most common used word, say. Say is an irregular verb, so it is say, said, said. Say basically means to express something with words. When no one is around you, say, baby, I love you. Right? So that person said, baby, I love you. I am reporting to you what he had said. So generally when we use say, it is to express to someone what someone else has verbally conveyed to them.
I'll be back.
He said he'd be back. I am reporting to you what he said.
Hello.
He said hello. I am reporting what his words were. This is the most common way that we use say in English. The next word I want to take a look at is tell. Tell is an irregular verb. It is tell, told, told. Tell is used when we're talking about the information that someone has said directly to us, or an order or command that they have given to us. When we're using the verb tell, after the verb, we need to put a person. Who are we speaking to? Who are we telling the information to? Tell me why. Like in the previous example, I'll be back. He told us he'd be back. Who is he telling the information to? We need to put the person or people the speaker was speaking to at that time. When you were a kid, maybe your parents would yell at you, study, clean your room. In this case, when you are explaining to other people what your parents said, you can use the verb tell if you put yourself. So they said to study versus they told me to study. In this case, both of those sentences have the same meaning, but whether you use say or tell depends on if you're putting the person who was being spoken to. They said, clean your room. They told me to clean my room. So when we use tell, you need to also say or write who the person was that was listening, who heard the information. Please subscribe to Jen's Jyugyou. I'm telling you to subscribe. Next, I want to take a look at the words talk and speak together. The reason for this is because maybe 95% of the time, speak and talk are used exactly the same way in English. Very specifically though, when we use the verbs speak or talk, we should put a preposition after the verb to help link it with the rest of the sentence. So there are 3 very common prepositions in English that will go together with the verbs speak and talk. The first preposition is to. Talk to someone or speak to someone. The next preposition is with. Talk with someone or speak with someone. And the final preposition that's usually used with speak and talk is about. Talk about someone or something. What's your topic? Speak about and your topic. When you're using the verbs speak or talk, you should use one of these 3 prepositions to link your sentence together. There is a tiny difference between when you use the words speak and talk. The tiny difference is that speak tends to sound a little bit more formal, and talk tends to sound a little bit more casual and friendly. But this is just the feeling of the words that people have when they use them and when they hear them. So if you feel like being formal, or if you're discussing a formal situation, you should use speak. If you're talking about a casual situation, you should use talk. For example, if I have the sentences, I spoke with my students after class, versus I talked with my students after class. Talking with my students sounds like it's very casual. The lesson's finished, maybe we're sitting around, listening to some music in the background, just chatting about their life. Whereas if I say I spoke with my students after class, maybe something happened in the classroom that wasn't really good, and I need to speak with them about the situation to make sure the same thing doesn't happen again. Speak and talk are used the same way, but again, speak is a little more formal and talk is more casual. I spoke about global warming versus I talked about global warming. In this case, I picture the first example, I spoke about global warming, might be me giving an official presentation to a group of people. Maybe I'm Greta Thunberg and I'm expressing my opinions on global warming. Versus I talked about global warming, maybe some friends and I are going grocery shopping and we happen to just start a conversation about global warming as we're purchasing our products. If you're interested in learning some vocabulary connected to the environment and global warming, please check out a video I made about that over here. One other difference between the words speak and talk is when we are discussing the topic of languages. For example, I speak English and Japanese, and a little bit of French. This means that I am able to communicate in those languages. But I would not say I talk English, Japanese, and a little bit of French. That doesn't sound correct. So when you're speaking generally, what languages do you know? Are you able to have a conversation in? Speak. If it's general, speak. If you are talking about a specific situation or a specific point in time, then you can use talk in plus the language. For example, I speak English and Japanese. My husband speaks Japanese and English. So together, we usually talk in both languages. Of course, I could also say we usually speak both languages together, but if I want to draw your attention to the fact that at this instance or this situation, the language that we are using for that, then I could say we talk in plus the language. When I am angry and we're having a fight, we will talk in English. Most of the time though, when you are speaking about languages, just speak plus the language, very general. I don't speak Spanish, but I speak English. How about you? One final thing I didn't mention about the different prepositions that go together with speak and talk is that you can use more than one in a sentence. And what I mean by that is you can speak to someone about something, or speak with someone about something. I want to talk to my husband about our finances. The teacher spoke to her students about gerunds. So hopefully now you can understand the subtle differences between the sentences that were at the beginning of today's lesson. She said to study. She told, plus who is she talking to? She told us to study. She talked about studying. Her topic of conversation was studying, and maybe casually she explained this information. She spoke about studying, more formal, and the topic of her speech was studying. If you're interested in further improving your vocabulary connected to say and tell, please check out a video I made over here about alternative advanced vocabulary that you can use. And now it's time for question of the day. Today's question is, Who is the last person you talked with on the phone? And what did you talk about? What did you say to each other? Did you tell each other any interesting information? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it useful, please subscribe to Jen's Jyugyou so you don't miss any English lessons. And give this video a thumbs up. Good luck with your English studies, everyone, and I'll see you in the next lesson.